everyone. I do not like it when I forget to put the thumbnail on YouTube where people can come click in. It has been another one of those days. I have got to get it together. I cannot believe I did it. Oops, I did it again. Yeah, I guess it's good we're talking about Britney because yeah, I did it again. I I get it together and I put the thumbnail up in Instagram and tell everybody, and I entirely forget to put it on YouTube. So I guess I'm going to have to talk to myself for a minute until people come in and find me. But welcome to Dear Dana. Hello and welcome in. Today we are going to be talking about how Britney will survive with the things her toxic parents did. Yeah. Even when she gets free, there will be more to it. Because on both sides of the scale, right now they are beating each other up in social media and in the eyes of the public. But there are things that they have both done to her that are extremely toxic, unfortunately. So she is definitely going to need help to overcome the things that they have done to her so she can reestablish her mindset. It is unfortunate. I mean, we talk about a parent's love, and she has been in the state of being for over 13 years now. It's the epitome of toxicity. This was a little kid that innocently started out singing and dancing, very small, and loved it. And so her mom involved her in whatever way she could so that she could get more involved in it. Well, this says I've been live for 57.22. I guess I've been live for about a minute. I thought it said I've been live for an hour. It's like, what? But so she could innocently get involved in it. Hello, paranormal witch. Hey. I'm glad somebody could find me. I did not put up the thing in YouTube so somebody could find me. But anyway, she innocently was singing and dancing, and her mom got her involved. So before long, by the time she hit 10, 11 years old, she got in Disney Kids, Mickey Mouse Club. Of course, with quite a crew. She was in there with Justin Timberlake and Christina Aguilera, all of these that became very, very famous. And by the time she hit her teen years, it was, oops, I did it again, and baby. So she starts taking off and making the big bucks. And her mom's a school teacher. So at that time, yeah, Britney Spears' family are very toxic and delusional. By that time, her mom's a school teacher, her family's breaking up, her dad's a serious alcoholic. And here they're calling, saying Britney has, don't get you started with Justin Timberlake, saying that she has addiction problems, when all along it's really her dad. So she becomes super, super famous, and she's really the breadwinner. So you fast forward very young, and she has that, 2-day, 48-hour, 72-hour marriage to her childhood friend, and they quickly annul it. And within the very same months later, she ends up marrying Federline, and it's supposedly her dad's okay with that. I don't get that. I don't understand that. They're saying she's too young to marry her childhood friend, but her dad was okay with Federline. Now, what sense does that make? Okay to marry Federline. when he was pretty much a backup dancer. He was making statements about what a relief it was not to have to make a car payment. Britney gets him a new car. I feel like it was a business deal too, sort of. Almost like the dad could, hey, Pam! Almost like the dad could control Federline. That's my feeling. Because Jason had been a childhood friend. The two families had been friends, especially the moms. So it almost felt like to me that Brittany's dad felt like, to some degree, that he could control Federline. That's just a weird gut feeling. Like maybe he could manipulate Federline, so he could control Britney. Yeah, I'm feeling it in my gut right now. Until later, when he got a little physical with the boys, that might have been a line in the sand with Federline to a degree, but he still was able to up the ante with the child support and the spousal support. So I think he was able to go from 20 a month for the no, wait. Is that right? Is he getting 60,000 a month for the boys now? Because I'm thinking he was getting 30 apiece for the kids. But he's also getting spousal support. I mean, he's getting quite a chunk right now. He turned around, married, had more kids. I mean, I think he's got about 5 kids? He already had a child when he married Britney because his ex-girlfriend was pregnant. He had the 2 boys, and then he remarried, and I think he's got 2 little girls. So I think he's got like about 5 kids total. So, I mean, he really wouldn't have to work because of all the money he's getting from Britney. So, if you look at all the players in this, her cousin, Allie, was her assistant. Stayed with her. I think she even lived with her a lot, Allie, and made a lot of the phone calls, set up a lot of the appointments, etc. And at some point, I think I saw it was a YouTube channel called Popcorn. I don't remember the name of the channel. I want to give him credit. Let me see if I can remember the channel's name. I like the guy. Anyway, Allie came on Popcorn Planet, I think is what it's called. Pretty sure. And it is Popcorn Planet. Anyway, she came forward and she had a lot of the messages on the phone where she had been talking to Britney's mom. And Britney and her mom were not getting along. Britney's mom refused to visit her unless she went on social media like TMZ and stuff and said that things were copacetic between them. They had not been speaking. Her mom refused to visit her, and she wanted Britney to go forth on things like TMZ and stuff and say their relationship was all good and loving and kind and they were getting along great and her mom was super, etc., because their relationship was crap. And Britney's mom was trying to say Britney was a bi you know what, and that she was not going to see Britney unless she did all of this stuff. There were all of these conditions. She was not going to be involved in the boys' lives. All of these things. Because she refused to do it unless she was made to look like Golden Sunshine. Allie said she felt like it was a crazy farm and she was all on Britney's side. She agreed with Britney and told her she was glad that she didn't have a mother like her. She could not believe what she was hearing, etc., etc. And Lynn had said, "Well, Allie, I spoke to your mom, and she was so sweet to me, et cetera." And Allie, Brittany's cousin, said, "Yeah, I wish you were a lot like my mom, because I can't believe the kind of family that Brittany's having to deal with. I cannot believe all of you treat her like this. I can't believe she's still sane. And you're saying that she's sick and mentally ill when she's completely fine." I mean, Allie was 100% standing up for her. I mean, basically, the messages were saying you all are pretty much making her seem like this to the media, and it's all a lie. Why are you doing this to her? I mean, that's the gist of all of it, and it was completely and utterly shocking. Shocking. I mean, if I could pull it up from, I wonder if I can pull it up. I wonder if he would mind. It was just the other day he was talking about it. How far back does it go? No, that's a year ago. But it's just completely disgusting. Anyway, he's just as horrified as I am. Come on, Allie. That's Aaliyah. I can't find it. Anyway, um, so yeah, and also listen to this. During one of the times, they wanted to put her in some kind of rehabilitation mental health program, right? When she was fine and her cousin Allie was there, guess what the mom did? She sent one of the people working for them, called a doctor that they knew, had a prescription written for a drug. This was on Popcorn Nation. No, but not Popcorn. Popcorn Planet, forgive me. Go check them out. Had a doctor they knew call in a drug, had this person working for them go pick up the drug when Brittany was not aware, crushed it up when Brittany was out of the room. It was on Popcorn Planet. Put it in Brittany's Pepsi or Coke, whatever. No, it was a Red Bull. Put it in her Red Bull when she did not know. Had her drink it, so she was out of it. Took her to this program against her will, with all this in her system. I kid you not. So basically, they put drugs in her system to dope her up to take her to this program. One of the programs, the father was saying that she had all this, you know, she was on drugs and all this other stuff. Brittany was demanding copies of the paperwork. Her dad did not want her communicating with any of these places. Ultimately, some of the paperwork came back, and toxicology said there was no drugs or alcohol in her system. Do you see the pieces that are coming together? One of the dancers came forward and said during one of the shows, Britney was horrified to go out there because so many people were smoking marijuana that it was in the air, okay? And she was terrified that she would breathe it, it would be in her system, and she would get tested because her dad was constantly having her tested. It would be in her system, and she would lose custody of her kids. She was so terrified, they made the dancers and everybody drag her out on stage. One of the dancers came forward, and she can remember this, and it upset her. She can remember how upset and scared Britney was. about this because she didn't want, just secondhand breathing it to be in her system and it show up on a test and her lose her kids. So basically, her dad is saying, I never forced her, blah, blah, blah. But what he did was, he would say, no, you don't have to. But if you don't, you will not get to see your children or spend time with your boyfriend. So saying you didn't have to, well, she did. If she wanted to see her kids, that's like holding you hostage. Like in the movie, if you ever want to see your wife again, if you ever want to see your kids again, right? Think of the trauma induced in every move she made. Think of how you would feel, if you walk out into this room and the air's so thick with Mary Jane, and you know, if you walked in a room and it was thick and you're inhaling it, and you're going to get a second hand, that it's very possible, and that's in your system, and then you get drug tested, and they pick up on it, and you didn't actually smoke it, and they're going to be like, oh, that is in your system. You cannot see your children. And you didn't do anything. And all of a sudden they're saying, Britney Spears tested positive for. So that's when she did the testimony saying, and I'd go out there and it'd be so thick with MJ and I was afraid I'd get a secondhand high. That's what she was talking about. Now it makes sense. What that dancer was talking about. And for them to have to drag her out on stage? Can you imagine? Wow. So before we go further, let's do the intro. Again, welcome to Dear Dana, the place where we explore psychology, spirituality, social topics, and where I always hope that you leave feeling better than when you come in. Today we're talking about, can Britney Spears survive what her toxic parents did? And I think that a lot of us, it's not just about her, there are a lot of us that have experienced toxic parents or toxic relationships. Yeah? It's not just about her. There are a lot of us that have experienced toxic parents or toxic relationships. I know I have. Hello, not paid by anyone, and Paranormal Witch, and Pamela Bourgeois. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. And anybody else that happens to be watching that I cannot see, you're welcome to come in the room, though. And I want to give a special shout out. I don't want to say the details, but I want to give a special, well, she's saying it now, a special shout out to Paranormal Witch for her extreme bravery. I cannot talk tonight. I sound drunk, and I'm only drinking bubbly. I'm trying a new flavor, blueberry pomegranate, and I like it lots. Busy Blue and Jolene got me trying the stuff, and I like it actually. It's making me drink more water. Hello, Shelly Marie. I hope to see more of our, it's very good, butterflies in here. We're talking about Britney's toxic parents, what they've been doing to her, And we can, segue into relationships that we have had that are toxic. Paranormal Witch is getting freedom from a toxic relationship. And I could not be more proud of this warrior woman. So let's give her a hand. Seriously, let's send all the light to everybody in the chat and give Paranormal Witch Warrior Willow, a hand. So extremely proud of her. I'm calling her out tonight. Excellent. So proud of her. Let's send her all the hearts and butterflies and strength. I'm so proud of her. And before we go on, remember when we did that healing work last week? And I said that there was, I said that there was a particular butterfly that we have that I was sending healing work to because she was dealing with an extreme rash. And it was just really, really painful and hard on her. Well, let me tell you, she could not make the live. She couldn't make the live, but hopefully she'll give me permission. I sent her an email. She couldn't make the live, so she wrote me and she sent me pictures. She sent me after pictures where she did the healing. Let me tell you, it is amazing. This rash went from blood red, and she had it almost everywhere. It went from angry blood red. And if you had to put it on a scale from 1 to 10, I would say it was almost a 15. I kid you not. She sent me photos, and it's like a 3 or a 2. If I'm lying, I'm dying. It was incredible. Incredible. So I'm just a conduit. And I had asked Sheila Swin to come on. Just a conduit. But it is amazing. I mean, I just wanted to. I gave thanks, and I was just, ooh, honey. I hope I get to show you some remnants of the before and after. It's incredible. So if any of you ever have pain or need some form of healing, I can't always guarantee it's going to work, but please do not hesitate. I told her to go back and play it again to see if we could take it down to a 0. Amazing. She said she got such relief. Makes me so happy. So, and all of you sending your love and light, it only compounded it. Had to compound it. No, don't call me a miracle worker, although I thank you and I'm humbled by it. I'm just a conduit. I try to connect with angels and light. So, I'm not going to take the credit. Pam, is there any way you can send her a message? I would love for her to come in here. Maybe Wednesday. I don't know if there's any way you can send her a message, or maybe I can. You could send me a private DM, and I could try to search her out on there. I mean, I can't make any promises. All we can do is try. I will never make promises. All I can do is try. Okay? Because if I could fix everything, I would have fixed my little boy. You get me? Because I don't know what our Creator's plan is. All I can do is try. But yeah, skin conditions, pain, stuff like that, I would like to see change. But let me tell you, Pam, If she lets me show just a remnant of some of it, it will blow you away. Blow you away. Wouldn't it be amazing if this channel could be, not all of it, but could be partially a healing channel? For some people, some of people's pain and stuff. I would love that. But anyway, getting back to Brit and us. When people have toxic parents, a lot of times, it may, I don't think it started out that way. I don't think it started out that way with her mom. I mean, she got in a bad relationship with Jamie. I think he's a complete narcissist. He still has that addictive personality and everything. And like the guy on Popcorn Planet was talking about, when you start reading, when his attorney turned in the papers about him stepping down, look, he's stepping down with conditions. He's stepping down with conditions because he wants to save face. His conditions are, he sort of wants to save face with the public, saying a lot of these things that Britney are saying about me are untrue. So I kind of want them retracted, basically. I'll step down if, while I'm stepping down, it's done properly. And he's basically saying, if we can retract some of these crappy things Britney's saying about me, and while we're at it, let's make sure that she pays all my lawyer's fees so I don't end up with that debt, and I get some money along the way for the conservating that I've done for her. Oh yeah, it's 100% true. Pam is saying, yeah, allegedly. Thank you, Paranormal, for Paranormal saying allegedly. Actually, everything they're saying about him is true. He's a douche, allegedly. He can't separate father from conservator. He's basically put conservator first, and he just happens to be her father. You see what I'm saying? And he's made sure, like Pac-Man, anywhere she happens to go, that he's conservator there. So she can't make a move without him micromanaging her. And while he's at it, he made sure to say, oh yeah, using the father card, that her mother hasn't been involved in her life for the last decade or more. I mean, not her father, the mother. That, oh, she's a crappy mom and she hasn't been involved in her life for the last decade or more, by the way. And he also made sure to say, he had Pac-Man, that Britney's been paying for her mother's mansion in Louisiana and all her utilities and her maid with a value of about $2 million. But she hasn't had a relationship with her for over a decade. Hey, Black Lavender, how are you doing, darling? So the mom's been using her. Oh, and her mom wrote a book while she's at it. Her mom wrote a book during all this stuff because she wanted to make sure her side of everything was said. She was like, yeah, when she was going to one of these facilities, I wanted to get in the back of the ambulance. And I told him, well, I'm her mother. And that guy told me if I didn't back down, that he was going to put me in the facility too. So she writes a book in 2008 called Through the Storms. A real story of fame and family in a tabloid world. It's a memoir by Lynn Spears that she co-wrote with ghostwriter Laura Lee Craker. The memoir is about Lynn's daughters, Britney and Jamie Lynn. The book was announced in 2007 and published September 16, 2008. So supposedly it is about, and it's been given like 4.5 stars. Britney Spears wanted to sing ever since she was a little girl, but the years of sacrifices, auditions, performance, albums, fame, and paparazzi left the little Louisiana family swept up and spun around, and nothing turned out the way anyone ever imagined or wanted. Now Lynn shares the inside story of the Spears family as only a mother can. Through the Storm takes readers outside the narrow orbit of Hollywood glitterati. Lynn shares how fame and forever changed their family, her regrets letting managers, agents, and record companies direct the lives of her children. The challenges that shaped Lynn and James' failed marriage and how they affected Brian, Brittany, and Jamie Lynn. The startling events that led to Britney's breakdown, the aftermath of Jamie Lynn's pregnancy, and how the family has tried pulling together to recapture a sense of hope and purpose. Through the Storm says Lynn is the story of one simple Southern woman whose family got caught in a tornado called fame. And who is still trying to sort through the debris scattered all over her life in the aftermath. It's who I am, warts and all, with some true confessions that took a long time to get the nerve to discuss. Oh my goodness. Can you believe that? Poor Lynn. Poor Lynn. It led her to a massive mansion in Louisiana, while her daughter, Britney, has been controlled and put in a conservatorship where she has no options in her life. She cannot paint the cabinets the color she wants to. She cannot travel all over the world unless she's performing. She's told what medications to take. She cannot have children or get married. And she can only see her children when she's given permission. Now, which one do you feel sorry for? I don't feel sorry for Lynn, or Jamie Lynn, or Brian, or James. Lord have mercy. And none of them, the world would know none of them. Nada. Not one of these family members. Had it not been for Britney Spears. Now, this is what's going to happen when Britney finally gets released. She is going to have to deal with trauma responses. She's still going to react to the world as though she has to get permission, or if she does certain things, there's going to be repercussions. She's just instinctively going to react with a sense of PTSD, or as if she's going to have to please people for certain things to happen. Hold on. It's going to be ingrained in her. So therapy is going to have to help her work through a lot of internal unconscious things that she's not even going to be aware is there. And these things are not going to, thank you, Pam. These things are not going to rise up until these shackles are released. And a lot of these things, a lot of us probably have had these things happen in our own lives. I have. When I was younger, I did not realize, and especially coming out of that first marriage, that I had trauma responses. When I was real young, and I know parents sometimes do the best they can. And let me tell you, sometimes parents are toxic and don't realize it. And a lot of times it's a learned toxicity that they learn from their own parents. Especially if your parents came from parents that were of another decade or culture. That's just the truth. Britney's parents are different in that they became greedy and started treating Britney like a trained monkey. Let's be honest. They got rolled up into this whole thing. When she started, she was their child that they still had legal custody of. See what I'm saying? And then the legal custody, she became an adult in all of this. So as she became an adult in all of this, and they were not legally responsible for her any longer. So how do they switch it over to become legally responsible for her? Think about it. They start out and they're in control because their parents, she's a child. She becomes famous, and she's legally an adult. They get okay with her marrying Kevin Federline because they kind of see that they can manipulate him and manipulate him their way, control him a little bit, right? She becomes an adult. She divorces his butt. So then how can they control her as an adult? Think about it. She divorced him all of a sudden. She's an adult. She's not married to him any longer. So how can they control her now? See, when they're kids, you can make decisions. When she was married to Kevin, they could semi-control it because they were okay with it. And he was like, oh, okay, cool. Dad likes me. Then she divorced him. The only way they could control her now was through the conservatorship. Think about it. Are you putting it together? You see what I'm saying? When my child Noah, this might blow your mind if you don't know it. When my child Noah, who was handicapped, and he could not take care of himself, it was obvious he could not take care of himself, turned 18 years old, I had to go to court and get legal custody of my own handicapped child in order to continue to take care of him. He could not walk. He could not talk. He needed someone to take care of him. I had to go to court and see a judge, get an attorney, and get legal custody of my own child and prove that I could take full care of my own child. Does that blow your mind? It never dawned on me. Hey, Liberian Rose, thank you for coming over here. It never dawned on me for a second. I do not know why. Hey, Ablavia, It never dawned on me for a second that I would have to go to court and get an attorney and fight to take care of my son when he turned 18 and he could not walk and talk. I had to fight for my own son to say, oh, I want custody of my own child to take care of him. It blew my mind. But think about it. They wanted to maintain the same control that they had when she was a child and a teenager after she turned 18. That's why they were cool with her marrying Federline, because they could manipulate Federline. So when she divorced him, they panicked. They panicked. So in my opinion, that's kind of why she went through, she divorced him, and then there was a custody thing with her babies. She went through postpartum depression. She was freaking out because she had paparazzi, like, a dozen, at least on her butt while she was going through postpartum depression, and she was trying to wave them off. And she was like, look, you follow me because I'm Britney Spears and I look like this and all that. So she shaves her hair off to prove a point. They're still following her. She takes the umbrella, hits the car because she was PO'd, right? And it was just an act of F you. And she was depressed. Who doesn't get depressed? And in order to maintain control of her parents, her dad set her up. Set her up. Got a 5150 because said that she was sick because she shaved her head and everything without any real proof that she was, out of capacity. Got her somewhere for 72 hours. Did not even convince he knew people, convinced the judge and stuff that he did not have to give her notice that he was trying to set up conservatorship. So you're supposed to give people notice. Didn't give her notice. Went ahead and got the conservatorship so they could gain control of her as an adult. That is what all of this was about. It was never about she was incapable of taking care of herself. It was always about being able to control her career and the money. Follow the money, baby. Follow the money. Because she was a world-renowned superstar. They never expected her to blow up like this. She was the family's kumbaya. She was the family's oil well. And I would trust and believe, look, some families, some parents think, well, I created this child. This child came from me. I am the one that made sure that they were at this dance class or at this tryout or at this interview or at this, you know what I'm saying? I'm the one that did it all. So I should get a piece of this pie. So I'm going to find a way to maintain control. So I am a piece of Britney. Britney is a piece of me. So all of this is a piece of mine. Is anybody following me or do you disagree? I want to hear. Are you kind of following what I'm saying? Is toxic parent think? I feel like it's sort of like keeping the leash on the kid all the way through, especially if they're this famous. The only way that they could keep a leash on her was to find a way to maintain control, and the conservatorship was the perfect way. So if they could find a way at certain avenues to get drugs in her system, so when they needed to make it look like she was acting wonk wonk or do certain tests for it to show up, it was just enough. And James Spears had some connections. When um, when she was going to be, someone recommended that she take her son in the bathroom. Someone recommended that to her. The police knew ahead of time that was going to happen. Did you know that? They recommended that ahead of time. And they also sent an ambulance to have her picked up and taken to a facility. It was planned. That is the truth, allegedly. But it was planned. It's documented. So her mom's had her hand in the pot and planned. Her dad's had her hand. It's a messy mess. It's a hot messy. Hello, Zenzarius. How are you? I have missed you. He says, "Hey, Dana, hope you're well. Can't stay up for long as I'm very tired. I need to be up early. And oh, thank you for the flower and the heart. Can you update me on how you are doing? Are you walking? Please tell me how that is going. You do not know how happy I am to see you. Can you update me? I know you can't stay." Everybody send some healing energy. And Zenzarius, if you can look at my last video, I did some, and someone else helped me. I did a healing type thing. I beg you to go look at it. It is towards the end. But please tell me how it's going with your therapy in your legs. Pam says, oh, it's the same with Paris Hilton. Pam says, Britt has funded her whole family's lifestyle. It's all been a Brit. Yeah, I feel that is all they want from Britt. It makes me completely sick. I hope she disconnects from her whole family. You don't hear a lot about her brother, but I heard that she funded her brother's condo. I'm walking while with AIDS. I'm trying to strengthen my knee and leg in general. It's getting better. I'm so very happy to hear that. Everybody send Zenzarius healing energy. And if you get a chance, Zen, the last video I did on Wednesday, if you don't want to hear the whole thing, go towards the end. It'll be the first. I did a guided meditation at the end, but it'll be the first when we talk about healing stuff. Go to that one. Oh, yeah, her brother's a music producer. I did not make it to YouTube school this week because something else came up. I will do it Tuesday, but I sure did miss you. I did think about you, Jen. I don't know why we ended up connecting, Zen, but I did think about you. But everybody send good juju to Zenzarius, especially his legs, to help strengthen his knees and his legs so he is walking well in the future. Just imagine that light around his legs. Yeah, I don't blame you. Hey, you should see me. Last month I fell 5 times. I literally in my house fell 5 times. It was not a good month. I was like, why is nobody else falling? Hello, Arseny Pasakshov? Pasakshov. Late but in Australia here is here beautiful. Oh, so happy to hear you. And thank you. What a lovely compliment. I know Australia has to be beautiful. It is on my bucket list. Australia, Scotland, Ireland. My roots go to Ireland. Can you tell I've got Scottish blood? Scots-Irish blood? I probably am butchering the accent though. Zen, I'm trying to remember where you're from. Can you remind me, please? Oh, that's so sweet. The time before last, I had to go work and charge my mom's car. UK. Yeah, I love a British accent. I'm a sucker for a British accent or an Australian accent or an Irish accent. Yeah, with MS, hopefully I won't fall much. That's why I was worried last month when I was falling a lot. I was like, heck to the no, no, no. I'm going to start doing yoga again. The falling thing is not, I'm not going to, I've got a cane if I need it. First thing, when I got diagnosed with MS, my doctor said, you need to get a cane and just put it in a corner and get used to seeing it in case you need it. Well, I got one with a flashlight on it because I wanted it to look cool, but I don't use it. It's here if I need it, but I don't use it. I don't want to need to use it. But it upset me when my doctor said that. Get it and look at it so I'm comfortable with it in case I need it. But I just saw where Christina Applegate, she was like me, a late diagnosed MS person. I'm not going to let it kick my butt. I'm stubborn. Somebody tells me I got something, I'm going to be like, so what? So what? Yes. I was misdiagnosed, and I'm certified fitness instructor, and I always worked out, so I was able to carry Noah. And I think that's what confused the doctors. Yeah, it's a utility stick because it's got a flashlight. It confused the doctors because I was always into fitness, so I could carry my son. And they said, because of that, that is what saved my mobility. My son actually saved my walking. Noah saved my walking. Why do you say you can't believe I said I'm stubborn? Oh, I'm stubborn as a mule. But Noah saved my walking, and because I was doing things to take care to make sure I could carry Noah, um, I didn't do all the things I guess that would help me get diagnosed. So after I lost him, I went into a relapse and I didn't know it. And I went to a special eye doctor because I was having pain in my right eye, and they did a special machine that can see all the way to the back of your eye to where it goes to your brain. And that's how I got diagnosed first with MS, because they could see where I had optic neuritis and it looked like it was blown out in the back of my eye. They actually have a special machine that can pick up on MS in your eyes first. But they have to use the machine. So listen to this, not to get off topic. It freaked me out because the eye doctor put these pictures in front of me, and I thought they were some kind of chart that he was just going to show me things. And one of them looked like a blown out, how do I say it? Cable. It looked like a blown out cable. And I thought it was just a diagram that he was going to show me, talk about it. And he goes, I'm sorry, you have MS. And I'm like, what? And I didn't think I heard him right. And he sat there and said, I'm sorry, you have MS. And I'm like, what? I don't understand what you're saying to me. How can you say that to me? You're an eye doctor. So he goes, this is your eye. This is your right eye. And it freaked me out, and my heart dropped into my stomach. And he said, this machine is called an OCT machine. I don't know what it stands for. He said, it can see all the way to the back of your brain, and you have a pale optic nerve, and you have optic neuritis, and that's one of the first signs we often pick up for MS, and you need to go see a neurologist. So I went to see one, had a bunch of tests done. I had a bunch of MRIs, and they saw lesions on my brain, and I had to have a spinal tap where they pulled fluid from my spine. They did MRI on my spine and everything, and they found a bunch of lesions on my brain, and not much on my spine, thank God. But and he said, you have more lesions. What did he say? You have more lesions on your brain than, how did he say it? Anyway, I had more lesions on my brain than than other patients he has that aren't walking. Basically saying I shouldn't be walking. Does that make sense? Did I confuse everybody? So on occasion, when I sit here and I say I can't remember a word, that's why I can't remember a word. I try to play it off, but on occasion I can't remember a word. That's an MS thing. And I'll remember it in a minute. But it's an MS thing. So anyway, I'm good. I went to the MS Center of Atlanta about a week ago, and he was very happy because it's not progressing. So the things I'm doing and the medication I'm taking has slowed the progression. And all the spiritual stuff I do and standing on the ground outside, apparently it's helping. Before we go further, and I know I've gone left field, who is still grounding? Who's still standing barefoot outside? Let me tell you. I've lost 5 pounds standing on the ground outside because I guess it's doing whatever it's doing to my system. It's removing the EMFs from your body because we never connect to the earth because, it's like it's a grounded field. Thank you, Zinzarius. You're one of my favorite people. I don't know what it is. We've never met in person, but I just always felt a connection to him. A lot of you, I don't know what it is. You know how you just feel people? It's weird. I love this channel, and I always say your vibe attracts your tribe. And I'm a spiritual weirdo. I'm just a different kind of person. Maybe it's because I had the near-death experience, but I can feel most of you. But anyway, the grounding is scientific. Look it up on YouTube. It's not a woo-woo thing. We all wear shoes. It disconnects us from the currents in the earth. We are surrounded by EMF fields and electricity and everything. You can, I forgot what the little machines are. You can put it near your body and still see how much connectivity and electricity is moving through your body because we're electrical beings. We are always near computers and phones and lights and, the things outside, the cables that carry electricity. So we're always like taking it into our bodies. And it messes with our blood cells where they get sticky and our blood pressure and all that crap. And sometimes it can cause disease. We don't get grounded. We ground wires into the ground so that We don't burn our house up and stuff, but we don't ground ourselves. So if you take your shoes off and stand outside on the grass, on the ground, on the dirt, it helps take a lot of the stuff out of your body. So it makes you feel calmer. It can lower anxiety, depression. But let me tell you, a side effect of it is it's been making me lose weight. I haven't changed a thing. Hey, I'm happy. I'm sleeping better. My dreams are colorful, happier. That's good. I'm in a better mood. So I'm saying try it. My skin is clearing up where the dog has been chewing me up. I've got my husband and my mom doing it. My mom's been in a better mood. Could you put out good vibes for Sparkle Alley? I saw her bid that she was saying she's had her Instagram taken for the third time and she's struggling. I have been putting out good vibes. I don't know why. She blocked me on her channel. Oh my gosh, Arseny, thank you so much. Thank you for that. That made my day. Please follow me on Instagram if you're on there, by the way. I like to connect with all of you. I'm lucky to know you, Zarius. Yeah, I don't know why she blocked me. That's okay. She's unfortunate because she doesn't know me. But she just needs to do what she needs to do for herself. I mean, she's probably got people coming at her in all directions. But yeah, I'll send her good vibes. I don't think she's a bad person. But definitely, I'll send her good vibes. I don't hate her. Everybody send her good vibes. Seems like she's going through, you know what? I want to know if any of you have had to deal with toxic family members like Britney. I mean, how that has to make you sick and make you feel like you can't trust. If you can't trust your mom and dad, if you don't have a soft place to land with at least one parent, oh Lord. Because it makes, when you have a toxic family member, they don't really care how you feel, right? They are not there to care about your opinion or what's for your greater good. Not really. It's more so about how they feel and what you're doing for them. And you'll never feel like you're going home when you're around them. What's awful, Miriam? There's a conversation going on and I don't know which direction it's going. I'm going to drop a link if anybody wants to come up. I don't want to be the solo rider on this bus. I am so happy at the people that are coming in here. It just fills my heart. Really does. Oh, I need to remember this. Please like, share, subscribe. Subscribe. I want to see my channel grow. I might have to have topic matter that connects to famous people and then bring the subject matter back to the people that are watching to help my channel grow. I might have to do that. I want to be able to connect and help with more people. And my channel kind of hanging in the 270 something ankle. And I genuinely want to help more people, but I don't want to be stuck. I don't want to be stuck. Yes, I have. I am proud of that, Zendarius. I am proud of that. But I heard, and I don't know how true this is, maybe you know, Zen, I heard that if you don't hit 1,000 by a year, they make you start over. That's what I heard. But I got some good advice this week by Up and Adam that I need to make some short videos, and I need to learn to do that because I don't know how. Hello,
Hello. Oh, give me warning. You're bringing me, girl.
do what now? Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I have like 15 minutes before I have to go pick up my kids. So I was talking about how awful it is that you can't trust your own parents. Like,
Yeah.
if you can trust them, who can you trust? Because, listen, usually people you can trust them as long as they're benefiting from you. The moment they stop, this is when the stabbing starts.
Well, then when you can't trust your parents, it makes you feel like you can't trust anybody. Anybody.
Anybody. For me, the biggest villain of them all is really her mom. She stayed quiet. She was one. If she really had her daughter's benefit, she would have been co-conservator, let's say. And when the need is gone, they would dissolve it. So they would have that agreement set from the get-go. She never wanted to protect, or be, maybe because she was allured with the money. All of them have been living off Britney's money.
I mean,
So why would they object to that? You know?
me as a mother, if somebody was doing something like that to my kid, you could. There is not a person that would want to come up against me. Look, I am loving and kind and light,
But
but
don't come near the children.
as much as look, as much as I want to love and help people, can you imagine if somebody touched my child?
I can, because much less has happened to my children, and the big bear came out of me. You know,
I
I can.
wouldn't. I wouldn't need a gun.
It's crazy for me that this has gone for so long. It seems like finally she's gonna get it, but then again, he's. I watched Emily D. Baker the other night. So she interpreted his PR like statement as he's trying to, burn everything on his way.
I can't hear you.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
My kids were calling me. I think it's my son asking me if I could go pick up his sisters. It's because
Oh,
he's in the party. Anyhow, so I was saying, like, I feel like they were all in cahoots in this. It's obvious just because of the money, and he wants to burn everything on his way. So this is why he started attacking her mom.
he wants to make sure Brittany pays all his bills and he has money walking out the door.
Why? Work, bitch. Listen to your daughter's song. You better work, bitch. That's what I tell him, you know?
I bet she has nothing to do with any of them when it's done.
I think he's going to be legally incriminated because he was negotiating his own commission. As
I
a
know.
conservator, he negotiates with everybody that is being paid by her. So he was the judge and the court and the jury all at once.
And can you imagine using the children as pawns? And on top of it, now that I think about when she said I had to take a 4 hour test and then he calls me and says I failed. Now, when I rehear that in my head, that's BS.
That's bullshit. Yeah. I feel like he was hiring everybody that was testing her. There was no independent entity taken care of whatsoever. And for the legal system to let that slip, like, go by for so long, it's crazy to me, because any parent can do that. And let's face it, we have all these kids that were like famous at an early age. You see, there's a moment that they go rebellious because they feel that they didn't have like a childhood, and they were taken advantage of. But uh, in most cases, the parents stay away and they respect the boundary, and then the child still takes care of them. I'm sure Miley Cyrus still takes care of her mom, her sisters, but she was rebellious for a while.
Yeah.
Not
But
necessarily they were vicious or like Britney's dad, but in the mind of a child, she feels like I was the slave for Disney.
her sister got a career because of her.
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah, yeah, all of them. Yes, let's be real.
Let's be real.
And when I
We
look at
know
the
them.
house that her mom lives in, it's ridiculous. Why does one person need a freaking mansion? One person.
I think they really thought they were. What happens with people who who commit like crimes and that were gone unnoticed. They
Hmm.
think they're gonna keep getting away. So they can't believe the first year they can't believe they got away with that. The second year they can't believe they got away with that. The third, the fourth, they start, oh, I'm getting away with that. And then the 10th year, they're like, huh, I'm getting away with this forever. So they got cocky, and unfortunately, everything was on their side until finally she was able to find a crack. And God gave her like some lucid strength to be able to speak with the judge.
Yeah. I mean, I'm so happy that she did. I mean, it's what put the crack in the whole thing. Parents said her had to deal with her son. He was toxic for a few years. He turned his life around, but he's in a toxic relationship with his girlfriend. I think it's because a lot of times when people have been in toxic relationships, when they don't realize they have trauma responses, they tend to gravitate to relationships like they were used to
Mm-hmm.
until they recognize the responses that they haven't dealt with.
But how can you recognize without help? You
That's the thing. You need help
need help. You need help. Wow.
because you're blind to how you're responding because it's on automatic pilot.
Yeah.
You don't know that you're doing it.
Yes. Exactly. That's so true. That is so true. I hope this is like the beginning of the end of this for her. And I'm sure all the money that she lost just by a biography or like a documentary or a tell all, she will recoup that money back. But I feel like she is hungry for vengeance. She really wants them to answer.
Yeah. She
And
wants the truth to come out too.
yeah,
Every single bit of it.
would you be surprised if he's not putting something in her water?
No, I think there have been times when he knows that she is going to be seen on television or she's going to be tested or he needs to have that conservatorship continue that he has had drugs put in something
I'm
so
sure. Yeah.
it confirms that it needs to continue.
Yeah, yeah. And how? What do we know if he didn't put something before she took that test that she failed? And when she failed, she said that everything was worse than before,
Oh,
according to her testimony. Yeah, that,
yeah, I don't disagree because he's had connections with different entities and doctors.
and he hires them. He's the one
Yeah.
who hires them. He hires them, say, "Hey, I'm hiring you to do this. I'm hiring you so that she fails. I'm hiring you to torment her." Like the fact that she couldn't even go to the bathroom without being watched.
Yeah, I mean, and look, he's the one paying the bills to the mother. So
She,
I mean, that's kind of like keep your mouth shut.
exactly. I always knew that. I never followed her story very well. So, but as soon as this came to surface this year, it was obvious. No mother would stay silent unless she's complicit. And she's been benefiting. Like, look, you just said the $2 million mansion, the live-in maid, the utilities. the utilities for a big mansion. They are like they're a mortgage on their own. You know what I mean? And they thought that they were going to get away. Now I think they're panicking, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Not only because of the money's going to stop, but it's because even their image. Like, who will want to deal with them? No one.
And then, little sister acting out. She may not be entirely guilty, but she has benefited, but she just seems so bitter when she has to answer things, you know?
Yeah, it's I the blame first and foremost falls on the parents, but then the kids by association. I don't know if that makes them more innocent, but then again, there's always also like living in the shadow of Britney. I feel
Yeah.
like there is that jealousy as well, which makes them resentful.
But it may be that they're more protective over certain parents, you know? Guilty.
Yeah, yeah, true.
Because it's hard sometimes when you don't want to throw your parents under the bus.
Yeah, there's that guilt as well. Even when you know that your parents are hurting you, but because they're your parents, like you feel that guilt. And there's guilt also when you fight with this a sibling, when you cut them off because they did you wrong, but you're cutting them off. There's always that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like all of them kept their mouth shut because they chose the wrong side, and now they're gonna finally pay the price. You
Have
know?
any of you had toxic relationships with your parents? How has it affected you insofar as trauma response? Or,
Uh,
or do you know?
I don't know. I don't know what I don't know, Dana. Just this is why I tune in your channel every time you come live. I don't know. Now it's gotten better, but then again, I feel like it's because the the more dependent you are on your parents, the harder it is to get out.
Right.
Once you become financially independent, then I think you can work on the emotional independence because there's a lot of that. So things got better, like very slowly with my mother. With my dad, it was always great. May he rest in peace. But it happens.
I know when I was very, very young, one trauma response that I recognized later on is I used to apologize for everything.
Yeah.
I used to go, "Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I
Oh,
still
I'm
do
sorry."
that. I still do that. Sometimes, like, it's not my mistake. But it's automatically like you apologize. You're apologetic. It's kind of like you're apologetic because you exist. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
and that's
crazy.
and I still might occasionally fall into that. It's a trauma response.
Yeah, but then you have to be aware. Sometimes you fall into that, then you remember, oh, I'm not supposed to do that. You know,
Right.
it's all about being self aware and knowing how to cope with it, which, hopefully I will learn.
Are always trying to fix things.
Yes.
When things are going wrong with people or they're not getting along, you're the one that's always trying to fix things between people.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
That's a
And
trauma
then
response.
when things are fixed between them, you're kept aside outside.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a
That
tra-
is crushing.
it's
Yeah.
a trauma response.
Yeah.
And when you start to realize these things, you're like, "Oh darn. Snap."
Oh, snap. Yeah. Gosh, that's bad. That is so bad.
Oh, Willow. Sometimes I feel like, and look, I'm not perfect. I know I'm not. I'm always working on myself, but I'm the unusual one in my family. I own it. Things happened. And my mom and I, we can talk about it now. She knows a lot of it's because what happened when I was 12.
Yeah.
And now I don't know. I guess it's because she's getting older that she's way open about it.
Not my mother.
about me having the near death experience, all these years, we didn't really talk about it so much. And now she wants to. I guess it's because she's getting older. Um,
That's
but
great.
it made me different. And used to, she was like, "You don't want to talk about it. Don't tell people."
Yes, or
But
yeah.
now she
But
wants.
didn't she do that out of protecting you? She thought that she was protecting you so that nobody would be weirded out with your experience.
Yeah, partly, yeah.
I think so.
But I think getting older, she wants to talk more about it. I think that she is. She reads the obituaries now.
Ooh.
But my grandfather used to do that when he got older. I think that a lot of times when people get older, they get more mindful of the end of life.
Yeah.
So she wants to. Oh, I guess that's weird feeling right now. Ugh. Um,
What are you feeling?
just feels like somebody's here. I don't know. Um, um, that's weird. But anyway, she just wants to. She's more open and wants to know more. Let me tell you a quick little story off, and I'm not going to tell with who. I'm not going to tell who it was. It doesn't happen often anymore. I'm getting ready the other day to talk to a client, and it's rare that I do this because I told y'all I cherry pick, and I'm brushing my teeth, and all of a sudden, you know how you get that dry cough where you can't catch your breath? I'm getting a heavy duty dry cough, and I could not for my life catch my breath. And I thought, oh no, my daughter's going to run in here. She's going to try to call an ambulance or something because I could not get my breath. And then all of a sudden, I hear, and this is going to sound crazy to y'all, but whatever. I hear, it's okay, baby. You can breathe in a minute. I just need you to listen to me. I hear that. And I'm like, okay, I'm listening. And then all of a sudden, it stops and I can breathe. And I hear this woman give me this message. I want you to tell him now. He wasn't raised like that. He wasn't raised like that. It wouldn't take me but a minute to go get a switch and give him a whipping. He wasn't raised like that. And she starts on this tirade. Yep, giving me this message for me to give that client.
Wow.
This went on for like 10 minutes, and she let me see how she looked when she was going to church. Gave me a name, everything.
Wow.
Gave me the nickname for him when he was a little boy. All this stuff, specific details.
That's great. Wow. Lucky client.
So I was like, alrighty then, don't choke me anymore. And I remembered, because, after Noah passed away, I tried to shut myself down completely. I didn't want to deal. You know what I'm saying? With that part. So I was like, I remembered that a long time ago when it would happen, I would get those coffee things, kind of like it's a knock on the door, for lack of better,
Mm.
to let me know. So I had the session and I said, okay, I'm going to tell you something and I hope you're okay with it, but this happened. And they confirmed,
Wow.
knew who it was and everything.
That is amazing.
So when it was over, I was relieved. And I was like, I hope you're okay with this. Done, done, done. You're welcome. Don't choke me out anymore. I need to breathe.
Oh gosh. That is amazing. I don't know what how to describe.
I know because I didn't ask for it. I was brushing my teeth. I was in the bathroom doing all my
You have
stuff.
a gift. You have a gift. You know, you have a gift.
But I just thought it was kind of amazing. You know what I mean?
I know.
I was doing my personal business.
Oh my God. These these people, they should maybe give a try another way. Maybe blow a little bit of air in your face. Not really choke you, you know, while you're brushing your teeth.
It was that dry cough where you just cannot breathe. You
That's
know,
right.
you keep coughing harder and harder and harder till you almost turning blue.
Oh my God. Well, I'm glad you're okay and you lived through that again to tell your client.
Yeah, yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. Listen, my friend, I have to go pick up my daughters because
Okay,
messaging is not stopping in the phone. Yeah,
okay.
love you. All
Let
the
me do.
love and light and the butterflies for everybody in the chat that I can see. Because now, StreamYard, like you have to copy the link and then get out and go to Safari to be able to call in.
That's weird.
Yeah, this is what's happening with my phone. Well, my phone is weird.
Have a good weekend.
Yeah. Talk to you soon. Bye.
All right, bye bye. Pam said, I've had something like that happen with a friend of mine. My friend was doing bad things, and I got a message from her dad that had passed. Isn't it weird? Oh, I have to tell her, Zenzaria said, you look great, Miriam. She does. That color was good on her. It's weird how things happen, and they can do things to get your attention in the most unusual way. I mean, that's like, I'm knocking on your door, and if you don't give them the message, and they will keep. This is the thing. If someone on the other side wants you to give a message, they'll keep doing things like that until you give it to that person. Because in the past, I've had something happen, and I was like, I don't want to go give this message to that person. So they would keep bugging me, keep bugging me, keep bugging me, keep bugging me until I did it. And that's how I learned. You just have to do it. Otherwise, they won't leave you alone. Thank God it doesn't happen all the time. But it was important. The rest of the message was important. So yeah, thank goodness I was choked. Just like, I'm in the bathroom. I'm doing my own thing. What? Say what? But I could hear the intonation in the voice and all that stuff. First, I was like, oh no, who is this? But yeah, I mean, I want specifics to give the people. Choking shouldn't be a thing. Like, no, but you know that kind of irritated dry cough and it just gets drier and drier and drier, like your throat's sticking together. It was that. Yeah, be safe, Miriam. She's got like 3 kids, all teenagers. Her son's about to go to college. And Lord have mercy, you know how they get teenagers. They think they know everything. Mine's in there. They think they know everything. I remember being a teenager and thinking I knew everything. Did you think you knew everything when you were a teenager? We still remember that. Isn't it sad? We all remember what it felt like. Our bodies just keep aging. Our souls are the same. Our insides are the same. You know, why didn't our creator make it where we didn't have to age like that? Was our creator afraid we would all just be sexy all the time? Right? Yeah, I still don't know everything. I'm always trying to learn. Look, I'm a big nerd on one end. I'm a scientific nerd on one end. If I could, I would be in college all the time. Isn't that sad? I would be in college all the time because I love to learn. All the time. I hope when this ends, I mean, crushing up a pill and putting it in a Red Bull or mom. And if you could see some of the text conversations, her mom had with her cousin, oh my lord, not loving and kind and cushy. Her mom and her dad seemed to be more concerned with how they looked to the public than how they looked to their daughter or their grandchildren. That is what breaks my heart. Seriously. I don't know how the other children feel about their parents. I know once upon a time, a long, long time ago, Britney felt close to her mom. Maybe at some point it could be salvaged. But they've been extremely toxic in all of this. I don't even know if the people in this family know each other. In some toxic relationships with parents, as the children grow up and realize what the toxic things are, and the children get therapy, or the parents become more self aware, some of these relationships can be healed to some degree with more self awareness. It's not all hopeless, but it does often take therapy, a lot of self awareness, and work. It takes work. But with those that remain toxic, sometimes the best thing that you can do is cut cords and save yourself and get help and become self aware of what the trauma responses are. Because it becomes ingrained in you, and you go out in the world sort of like a robot, responding to people with these built in trauma responses that you have learned by being in these toxic relationships and trying to be like a Pac Man or a pinball machine to prevent being in chaos or being damaged somehow, trying to fend off the pain or the hurt from the words. You see what I'm saying? You end up with a lot of trauma response. So you just unconsciously end up in these relationships where you're still trying to work out unresolved issues that you've had in these toxic relationships, unfortunately. So that's why it's so important to become aware of why you react the way you do to certain circumstances or certain people just naturally. Just like me talking about, I used to say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, a lot to things that I never needed to say I'm sorry for. It was just like an automatic reaction. I almost felt like it was a polite thing to do, but it was an automatic reaction. And I can remember my grandfather saying to me one time, "Honey, you don't need to say you're sorry about everything." And it kind of stunned me that he said that, and I had to step back and think about it. He's right. Why am I doing that? And I realized it was like a automatic shield. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It was a trauma response, like a way of trying to fend off trauma, I guess. So when we start to recognize these behaviors we have, these responses, we tend to not gravitate to these chaotic or toxic relationships because we're more self aware and we're not trying to work out old issues. We are gravitating, rising up, resonating higher. See what I'm saying? We're turning the channel up to Dana 1859 instead of Dana 225. We're rising up. The cream is rising up to the top. And therefore, we're seeing a whole new pool of people that we didn't see before because we were too low down. That's what it's all about. The more self aware we become, the more we rise up and we're able to see other things that are going on. You are so right, Zarius. Only need to be sorry for the things you're guilty of. But it was just, like I said, it was a built in trauma response. I was always saying sorry for things I didn't do in the family. Sometimes you get blamed for things you don't do. You become the scapegoat. We all know that term. We become the scapegoat. It's an easy thing to become in a toxic situation. So we have to become self aware. And that's why it's so helpful to me. And I've been doing it more and more lately. Less on the tube, more into nature and going to a spiritual place and meditation and listening to music and being with my family and pets and stuff. Trying to do things that make you feel good and resonate higher coming out of this pandemic crap. um, Trying to rise up, grounding, trying to make my insides feel better. Oh, thank you, Pam. Yeah, sending out the good vibes to everybody. Sending out the good vibes. Let's dance. Mm. Um, Trying to send out good vibes and stuff. Trying to, make ourselves feel better. And I try to find cheesy movies to make myself feel better. You know how you used to just trying to do anything, find anything, just to get that good feeling? I've been doing a lot of that lately. Instead of getting stuck in yuck. I think we all need that. What have some of you been doing lately to make yourself feel better, even if it's just for a moment? Even if it's just for a moment. Can you tell me? And then I've been discovering new little flowers, and I've got a huge, they're not grapes. They are muscadine vines. I've got huge muscadine vines out there, but they're kind of gone crazy, and I have to pick up the vines and look underneath and pray there's no snakes so I can see the muscadines. Oh, I haven't had one of those. You know what? I do my own. I've never ever had a mani pedi at a place, actually. That's sad, isn't it? I heard they feel wonderful. But I'm overdue for a real massage at a place. I want one bad. But I've heard mani pedis are wonderful. Reading a lot. Awesomeness. It's a great escape. Anybody else? Tell me what you've been doing to feel good for a moment. Oh, I heard they massage your feet too. Spending time with the animals and my special needs child and watching Star Trek. Love it. What is your special needs child name? Arseny? Guess where you live, by the way? Didn't you say, did you say Scotland? Where did you say you live? Oh, thank you, Zenzarius. Cartoons. Yeah, I love the old cartoons. Dante? Oh, I bet Dante is precious. Australia, that's right. If you're on Insta, please friend me. I'd love to see Dante. Oh, your kid's Dante too? Oh, one of my friends, Jenny, got a punching bag. I want to get one. She got gloves and everything. I'm sorry about Dobie. Ooh, I would love to connect with Dante then. I bet we could. How old is Dante? I'm sorry about the loss of your Dobie, Pam. And now I have 3 dogs and a cat in this house. But that cat's mean. It beats the dogs up. So we have to keep it separate. I hope. Aw, 9 in September. My Noah passed away in September, September 12th. I hope that karma gets Brittany's parents. I hope they change their ways, or at least her mom, so that Brittany has at least one parent that changes their way out of this, because you do need some family. But it's heart wrenching that they have been so scheming, and that's the way it looks. Unless we hear more, it is not looking good whatsoever. I'm sure more and more will come out in the court. I don't think her dad's going to come out smelling like roses at all. It just looks manipulative and contrived. Thank you. Um, it looks very manipulative and contrived, and the fact they've drugged. I can't believe her mom drugged her. Who does that? And I'm sure the lithium and everything else. I mean, who in their right mind does that? Your own kid. And the dad called her a sick little girl. Anywho, we are aware we've all been in some form of toxic relationship. There is trauma bonding, where we tend to bond to those that have put us in a toxic relationship with them. And for some reason, it's like it becomes comfortable because we get used to it. And we have to be aware of that too. And Pam, that might be some of what your son has been going through if you're still here. But we have to be aware of the patterns that it causes. That being said, I wish Britney Spears the best. I hope she becomes. Hello, Dr. Dreidel. I'm so happy to see you here. I hope that Britney becomes aware of the patterns of trauma bonding and trauma response that she's going to have to deal with after the fact. It's almost like it messes. They have messed her brain up. She was not messed up when this all happened. They have, because of the toxicity and the manipulation and the gaslighting they have done all along the way, they have sort of messed her brain up because of the conservatorship and the things they have done to her along the way. Does that make sense? I'm not saying that she's a messed up person. I'm saying she is going to need therapy to undo some of the things the parents have done to her. To undo the trauma bonding, to undo the trauma response, to undo, it's almost like Stockholm Syndrome. On some level, she loves her parents, but on a big level, she hates her parents. She's probably going to want to completely disconnect to them, but they have put her through, if you do this, you get to see your kids. If you don't do this, You don't get to be with your boyfriend. You know, if you do this, then you can paint your cabinet. It's been like messing with her brain the whole time. I'm sure she'll be severely happy when it's done, but did you see where recently, what was it, she got her first laptop? Is that what she called it? iPad? The first one ever? So that's kind of like telling me she hasn't had access to like a computer ever? Is that the impression you got? I mean, she says her sons have had one. I'm so happy that you came, Zinzarius. I'm sure this is not the topic you wanted to talk about, but I'm overjoyed that you came. Thank you for checking on me. We are probably about to wrap up soon. We're going on 2 hours. It makes me sick, Dr. Dreidel. You know, at first, when she first shaved her head and everything, it was like, oh, she's messed up. Was she on drugs? What happened? Everything was set up to make her look like just another messed up celebrity. But the pattern shows she went from a child star whose parents controlled things to married whose dad pretty much controlled Federline, to Britney divorced Federline. How are we going to control her now? Oh, better get a conservatorship so we can control this adult child. It was just another way to control her because Kevin got out of the picture. But she was still capable of working and making money and putting her mom in a mansion and her dad money and her brother in a condo and taking care of it. You see the pattern? They controlled an adult, treated her like a working monkey, made all this money, and she finally got to speak. And now the fires are burning. And now the dad has put all these conditions before he steps down. He wants to make sure the public knows none of the crap she said is true, especially about him. And by the way, I want her to pay all my attorney fees and pay me for the rest of the conservatorship before I walk out. Yeah, that's what I was telling him earlier. That the mother made sure someone went and got a medication, crushed it up, put her in Red Bull so she would be all drugged up so she could go to this rehab. And they didn't tell her. What mother does that? And I was telling him when she had her son Jaden, she was advised to have Jaden in the bathroom. Someone advised her to do that. I think it was Jaden. And the cops already knew it was going to happen, and they already set up the ambulance to take her to a rehab. It was all set up. It's all planned. So they've always made her look messed up in order to keep the conservatorship and the control going. Because Dr. Dreidel, think about it. I was telling him it started out she was a child and the parents had control of her whole career. So she hits adulthood. She's an adult. We can't control it. What are we going to do? They wouldn't let her marry the first boy because he was a childhood sweetheart, couldn't control him. They were friends with the mom. Federline comes along. He's kind of a dummy in some ways, in my opinion. Oh, it's okay. You can marry Britney. We can control you. Britney divorces him after 2 years. Oh no, we can't control her. What are we going to do? We'll make her look like she's drugged up. We'll put her on a conservatorship. Oh, we got control again. In my opinion. That's what I was telling him. Seems like there's a pattern. They just want to control her. because she was a world renowned superstar. We're her parents. We know what's best for her. So her dad does, puts her mom in a mansion. He writes the checks. Now he's calling her, Britney, paying for that. Look at her bad mom. But he's writing the checks for it. Okay, I'll keep writing the checks, but keep your mouth shut. Yeah. And I think she helped the brother get in a condo to live in. The whole thing makes me sick. And Dr. Dreidel was talking, moreover, a lot of us have dealt with toxic relationships or a toxic family member or a toxic parent. That's right. We're only as sick as our secrets. We're only as sick as our secrets. And so when we discover the things that we hide in our shadows and we bring it to the light and we become aware of what we've stuffed down and we're no longer sick, we bring forth healthier relationships. We don't start attracting toxic relationships because we have old unfinished business in our family or relationships from the past that we need to keep working out in new relationships. Peace. So when we become aware, we're like, oh, I like that relationship. I like that relationship too. But when we're not aware that we still have old unfinished toxic business, we see people with different faces, but they have familiar behavior. And that's why they don't work out. Because maybe they still have behavior like your mom or your dad or an ex. You know what I'm saying? Oh, she did? So that's why it's so important to become self-aware ourselves. Because it brings healthier life to us. A lot of people stuff, don't want to deal with things, and then they wonder why all their relationships suck, because they keep pulling people in that are similar to the sucky relationships they had in the past. That's why. Me too. I just want to see her happy and be able to see her kids and stuff. Can you imagine? It would kill me if someone was controlling how I saw my kids and how my kids viewed me based on all of this that was going on. I mean, seriously. It makes you wonder if the kids view her with the truth or the kids view her with what's been created about her. I hope they're able to see through it. I honestly do. She was crying, and the mom was telling people to stop criticizing her, Jamie Lynn. Yeah, I saw that. Mom was trying to stand up for Jamie Lynn. She needed to be standing up for Britney. Ugh. Makes me sick. I'm glad some of the stars are starting to stand up for Britney. That makes me happy. Anyway, you all are beautiful people. I love and adore you. Thank you for being here. You do not know how much I appreciate it. Listen, on Wednesday, I don't know what we're going to talk about yet, but I can promise you on Wednesday, if you have any friend or someone that is dealing with a pain, a rash, or something, we will do some healing work and guided meditation as part of our Wednesday day. I can't promise it will stop what's going on, but we have had some good results. Oh, yeah, I would love to meet Arsene. I would love that. You just don't know. We can put it on our vision board. Maybe we can do a vision board day. That would be great. But if you have anybody that is hurting, headaches, skin, whatever it is, we can try. We do know there is a science to healing. I mean, so far, it alleviated a toothache, it's helped with a rash, and we helped with a severe headache. Yes, we have receipts. We have people that will come. We use quantum healing. You can do it at a distance. It's not woo woo juju. There's science to back it too. Look, I am not everybody's taste. Not everybody loves deliciousness, right? Be that as it may, I want people to have a voice in here. If you want to talk about certain things or certain topics, whether it be psychological, social commentary, or spiritual, put it in the comments. Yeah, I won't. Put it in the comments below or DM me on Instagram, okay? If there are certain things you want to talk about, just let me know, okay? I'm very, very open to it. That being said, this is your community too, and I want you to leave feeling better than when you came. Also, if anybody hears from Vintage, I'm concerned about her. But remember, your vibe attracts your tribe. I'm very grateful and thankful for you. Please like, share, and subscribe. Yes, please subscribe. I'd really like to grow this channel. I appreciate you and I'm grateful for you. I just can't tell you how much. You really mean a lot to me. I love all of you too. And I hope to see you on Wednesday. And like I said, I am open to discovering any topic you want to. Even if it's a cold case, whatever. I will see you on Wednesday. Thank you ever so much for coming tonight. Have a beautiful weekend. And I will see you later. And here we go. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And if I can find this, we'll go there. You know me. Sometimes I don't have it all together. Bye, everybody.